Let's go. It's your man Mike Bowens coming to you once again live and direct. Listen, I got another powerful message for you. This message is just going to drop bombs on your head. Boom, 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 boom. This message is entitled The Waiting Period. The Waiting Period. Listen, from the time that God gives you a promise until the time it manifests, sometimes it takes years for this to happen. But what happens is, in the process, He is pruning you, molding you, shaping you from the person you once started out as into the person that you're going to become. But oftentimes, people get frustrated on the journey because they don't want to change. Like, He's changing you. Oftentimes, I've seen this in my own life, and I've seen this in other people's life. Before you really start to see the fruit or see certain blessings manifest in your life, it's like you're stripped away. Your finances may be stripped away. Your friends may be stripped away for a season. Things that you may have once cared about during this period of time, you no longer care about. One time I was a basketball fanatic, sports fanatic. Now I don't even watch sports. Don't even care to. Doesn't even interest me. And people that know me from the past, like, they can't even believe I'm the same person. Are we serious right now? A lot of my friends actually made it to the NBA. But I don't even care about sports. I don't even watch it. And so the thing about it is, as you're going through the process of what God intended for you to become, right, as you're on the journey and you're in that waiting period, you're not physically waiting, right? Let me explain this. You're doing what it is God put in you to do, but there's a waiting period before it manifests. But what happens is, during that process, He's helping you with the fruits of the Spirit. Love, peace, joy, meekness, kindness, right? Forgiveness. He's working on those areas in you through the Holy Spirit. See, it's one thing for you to receive the promise that God has said He was going to give to you in your life, right? And then it's another thing for you to get it prematurely. It's a bomb going on. Boom! Because I've seen a lot of people get what God had for them, but some people end up killing them because they did not develop within themselves, right? Peace. They did not develop forgiveness. They did not develop long suffering. They did not develop in these particular parts on the inside. I'm not talking about your wardrobe. I'm not talking about the car you drive, the house you live in. Those things can all be replaced. I'm talking about the parts that's inside of you that nobody can see, right? There was a point in time where I would get so frustrated very quickly, so angry very quickly. Now it takes a whole lot to get me there. But it was God working through me, working in me, years and years and years, to develop that within me so I could be the patient person that I am today. However, if He would have gave me the promise, then I would have blew it. Because you imagine, you don't even want to know the type of comments that I get on YouTube and Facebook and Instagram and all throughout social media. I got people telling me I'm going to hell, and I got people telling me all kind of stuff. You're a false prophet and all this kind of stuff like that. But back in the day, that would have frustrated me. I'd be like, yo, I'm going to find you. I'd have put your address down. Matter of fact, I'll give you my address and come see me. And then I'll show you how false I am. But that's not the fruit of the Spirit. That's not walking in love. And now, people say those things about me. I just say, hey man, pray for me. If you feel these things about me, just pray for me. Okay? But I love you. And I keep it moving. But because during the waiting period, God was pruning me. He was pressing me. Squeezing all the bitterness out of me, squeezing lust out of me, squeezing unforgiveness out of me, squeezing hatred out of me, squeezing impatience out of me, squeezing jealousy out of me. Because there was a time when I couldn't even go to another person's church and sit there and hear a sermon, because I'm like, dang man, they got all these people in the church, but I preach better than them. Yeah, I'm just being honest. Got to be transparent. That's how I used to be. Yeah, but if you look at your own life, there's some things about you that you say, dang, I need to change. Lord, I need help too. Help me, Jesus. Help me, Lord. So anyway, that was me. at some point in time. But as I was going through all of that, I started to realize that, hey man, it's God's purposes that's going to stand forever. It don't matter how talented a person is, how unattractive you may think a person is. What God has for them is for them, and can't nobody stop it. That's a bomb going off. Boom! And that's what I realized. And then I got to the place, this is years ago, I got to the place where I was able to sit down and receive the message, no matter how charismatic or uncharismatic the message was. I was able to receive it, as long as it was biblically sound. Didn't matter who it was coming from. And I lost that judgmental part of me with, oh man, they can't preach, or I can preach better than this. How come my church is not doing this and that? See, once you get out of all of that and God begins to keep squeezing you and squeezing you and squeezing you and getting all that gook out of you, then you're becoming who he said you was going to be. Now you're becoming what the promise looks like, right? But when he first gives you the promise, you're not that kind of person. See, when we look at the scriptures, right? Abraham and Sarah. When God first was dealing with them, he was Abram and she was Sarai. But his name meant father of many nations. But at that time, his wife was barren. They couldn't even have any kids. But I want you to look at the emotional part that they was going through. In the beginning of the journey, they both was like, okay, yeah, God's going to do this great, awesome thing in our life. And it didn't happen in year 1. Didn't happen in year 2. By year 10, she's like, listen, man, Abraham, I'm not going to have any kids. Why don't you go sleep with Hagar over there and just go ahead and have a kid, because I'm done. I'm tired. I'm washing my hands with it. I'm tired. See, God was working patience within her too, but she didn't realize it. But even he was working discipline in Abraham too, because what did Abraham say to Hagar? He said, you know what? My darling, beautiful wife, the love of my life. You know what? You're right. God is taking too long. But Hagar, we could have a kid, because that's what you want to do. So I could go do that. We could have a child, and then that'll be our son. Even though she's birthing him, that'll be our son. See, so God was working patience within them even during that story. But a lot of times people overlook that, and they just say, Abraham was a man full of faith. And yeah, but you got to go through the process during the waiting period when God makes you a promise, and develop the fruits of the Spirit, develop the patience, develop forgiveness, develop love, develop faith, develop an unwavering trust in God as he's working in you and through you to fulfill the promise that he made to you. And so it doesn't feel good at times during the waiting period, because listen, there's times where you may be a person who's full of pride, but you don't realize it. And when you really come to God and he sees that about you, a lot of times he'll let you lose everything, or he'll take away everything. Your Gucci bag, your Prada shoes, certain things that you have that you consider valuable, so he could be your all in all, so that these things don't even matter to you like that anymore. Then when you get to that point that these things don't even matter to you anymore, he starts to download into you ways for you to increase, ways for you to prosper. Now, when you have all of these things, it don't even matter to you anymore. Yeah, you got the Benz in your driveway, but it's just a piece of metal. Yeah, you have nice shoes and everything like that, but listen, if God tell me to give them away tomorrow, I give them away. Because at the end of the day, if I have Jesus, I have everything. I hope this message inspired somebody, encouraged somebody that in the waiting period, embrace it. Allow him to work in you, right? Ask him to expose those things inside of you that's selfish, that's prideful, that's impatient, right? That he can work these things out inside of you so that when he brings you into your promise, it doesn't destroy you. This is your man, Mike Bowens. I'm signing off until next time. Be blessed.